King of kings, Lord of lords, I worship
My turn. Give them another hand. That was wonderful. In the early 1950s, the North Koreans came across the 38th parallel and pushed the South Korean army all the way to the end of the peninsula, and it looked like that they were going to fail and we were going to lose the whole Korean peninsula. The UN got there and sent General MacArthur, and MacArthur did a crazy landing in the Bay of Pusan and comes ashore and fights the South Koreans all the way up past the 38th parallel. They're fighting them up towards China. And when they got up there, what they didn't know was the Chinese sent over 300,000 troops across the Chinese border and surrounded MacArthur's army. And we thought we were going to lose them. In a bid to save the men, they fought their way out of there, saving most of the men. But that's not the story I want to tell. On that exit to save the army, a young soldier gets shot and hits the ground. And he's laying there in temperatures below zero. As the army passes by him and nobody notices him, they finally get back down to where the area where Pusan was, in other words, back almost to where they started, and his group of soldiers realized he wasn't there. So several of them decided, we're going to go find our friend. And they went back up through the Chinese lines till they found their friend. When they found their friend and they saw him, he looks up and he says, I knew you wouldn't leave me behind. It's that spirit of caring about others that makes the difference. Wars are always going to happen. It says in the Bible all the way to the end there's going to be wars, but how one person treats another person, that's what's important. This little story here shows human compassion and care for somebody else. There is a whole list of all the wars and all the members that have died in war. Since 2021, we've had 20 combat deaths in comparison to the Iraqi war, where we lost over 4,500. It's a very low number. And the reason it's low is we don't have any major battles going on. We have little conflicts in different places in the world we have our special forces involved in. And so we lose them every now and then. But with 2,133,000 soldiers and military members right now, to only lose 20 to combat deaths, you would say that's good, except for the 20 mothers and fathers and wives that lost those 20s. No greater love have a man than this, that he lay his life down for his friends. That's what Memorial Day is about. For the next one. We are still fighting and dying today. Operation Inherent Resolve. That's our current mission by the military. It's comprised the U.S. military and coalition forces. It is united to build a military coalition to support Iraqi security operations against the Islamic State and Levant. The kinetic operation started in 2014 and it continues today. What it's not saying is those same forces are fighting ISIS and Levant all over the world. We have little groups in Africa right now. We have them in Kuwait. We have them all over the world fighting these members or ex-members of ISIS. Go to the next one for me. The cost is high. The cost is high. Go to the next one. Exodus 17:16 says, "For the hands were lifted up to the throne of the Lord, and the Lord will be at war against the Amalekites from generation to generation." By the way, the Amalekites don't exist anymore. Okay? God understands that there are some things that are worth fighting for. And we're supposed to care about and defend our own people in our nation. Numbers 31, go back one. Numbers 31:3. "So Moses said to the people, arm some of your men and go to war against the Midianites to carry out the Lord's vengeance on them." Now that particular group was pretty vile. And the Lord had determined that He did not want the other nations staying with the particular abomination these people were serving. And it was Milcom and Ashtaroth, and they were burning children. And God hated that. And He sent Moses against them. There are things worth fighting for. We've lost 20 killed in action since the Inherent Resolve this year. We've also lost 88 in non-hostile actions. What do we mean? Training accidents, auto accidents, things away from our country that people are doing. Look, you have to prepare for war as if you're going to war. If you get in a bunch of military vehicles and you go out there, bad things can happen. Go to the next one for me. We're still fighting terror. U.S. military contingents consisting of 30 soldiers were attacked around 10 p.m. on February 7th by a joint Russian and Syrian force who began bombarding Kosovo outposts with artillery mortar rounds as the U.S. servicemen returned fire with Javelin anti-tank missiles. The American warplanes arrived. Hey, here comes the reinforcements. American warplanes arrived in waves with Reaper drones, F-22 fighters, F-16 Strike Eagles, B-52 bombers and C-130 gunships and Apache helicopters. Go to the next one. The mercenaries, Russian mercenaries, gave up and retreated about 2:30 a.m. after 4 hours of fighting. 0 American troops were harmed. Somewhere around 300 of the Syrian and mercenary Russians were killed. Our people still have to stand and fight for what's right. Next one. I love to feel the flags. That's at Arlington. Go to the next slide for me. We are still sacrificing. The Department of Defense announced today the death of airmen who was supporting Operation Inherent Resolve. Major Stephen Kuo, 36 of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, died on May 24th of 2023 in a non-combat related incident in Camp, and I can't say that name in Kuwait. Okay? He was assigned to the 32nd Weapons Squadron, Nellis Air Force Base. Our people are still over there defending us today. Folks, I don't know about you, but I would rather them fight over there than fight here. That's why they're over there. People argue, what business do we have over there? Do you want to fight them there, or do you want to fight them on our own ground? I'd rather be fighting over there than fighting here. And ISIS has one goal. ISIS and Libya has one goal: destroy the United States. That's their goal. Rather fight them there than fight them here. Go to the next one. The ones we forget about is the 295 wounded in action in Operation Inherent Resolve. We have good friends of ours who fought in Iraq. Their son, he came back with no legs. Okay? He's proud of his service. He's gone through a lot, but he's still going today. Those ones that come back wounded need to be supported, loved, and prayed for as much as the ones that passed away. When they pass away, they're done. They're going to where they're going to go. We're praying for wives, kids, mothers, fathers, but these guys who are coming back injured, some missing parts, they need the prayers also. And people forget about them. It's not a person thing. It's a family thing. When you lose somebody, it affects the whole family. Back in World War II, anybody ever heard of the Sullivan brothers? Okay? The Sullivan brothers were 7 brothers that all went to war together and all served on the same battleship and all died on the same day. They used to put stars. You got a gold or a silver star. I believe the silver was for wounded and gold was when you lost somebody. And they would put those in the windows of their houses if they lost a son or a daughter. The Sullivans were the first to ever lose 7 in one day. And the order came out that you're not to station brothers together ever again. And that's why the military, it was very hard for me and my brother to get stationed together. Okay? We couldn't be in the same group, but we were stationed in the same area. But that was because of what happened there. It is a family thing. It's not just a personal thing. Next. Jesus understands sacrifice. He does not lend a blind eye to the pain and the hurt and the agony that families go through when they lose somebody in their family. One of the biggest tragedies that's happening right now is suicide amongst our military combatants that come back. It is a national tragedy of how many we lose to suicide every year. It's in the tens of thousands. They can't handle the memories of what they went through in war. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. For that to happen, Jesus went through pain. It was a war. It was a war against Satan. And Satan thought he won. When Jesus died on the cross, Satan thought he won. He didn't realize he signed his own doom by putting in the hearts of the people who put Jesus on the cross. Misunderstanding. Satan is not like God. God sees the whole timeline as one. He knows everything that's going to happen. All Satan can do, he is an angel, he can see what's happening now. He can read the Bible. He knows the end of the story. He knows he's only got so much time left. Satan is a vindictive person. He's going to inflict as much pain and suffering on humanity as he can in the short time he knows he has left. Romans 8:5, but God commended his love towards us, in that while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. All those out there that don't know Christ, it is our responsibility, as much as possible, to make sure they hear about Christ. So, Pastor, I'm not an evangelist. No, but you know your own salvation story. And you can share what you know about you. You don't have to be deep in the Bible. You don't have to need to know all the scriptures. You need to be able to tell them what happened to you. Why are you a Christian? How did you become a Christian? That is more powerful than reading all the scriptures in the Bible. John 15:25. But this cometh to pass, that the word might be fulfilled that was written in the law, they hated me without a cause. And they still do that today. People hate Christians and people hate God and Jesus, and they don't even know why. They don't even know why they hate Him. They've never even taken the time to find out why. Maybe they were raised in a family that was that way. Maybe they watch what's on TV, and it makes them that way. But God still loves them, and God still wants them to come to Him. Next slide. Oh, Mark 10:45. So even the Son of Man did not come to be served, but came to serve, and came to give His life for many. We are here to be servants. Servants of each other first. I keep saying that because I want you to get it. Our job is to take care of the people in this room and the people that are members of our church first. Then we're supposed to reach out to other churches and other Christians and do what we can for them. And then we're supposed to reach out to everybody else. But God wants us to love our own fellow Christians first. That was His commandment. John said before he died, if I could just teach them to love each other, not backbite, not talk about each other, not spread rumors, not cause hurt, but just love each other, support, take care of each other. Luke 23:37, and said, if you are the King of the Jews, save yourself. The crowd at the cross taunted Jesus. Jesus could have came off that cross. There was nothing holding Him up there. He had a legion of angels standing by waiting for Him just to speak the word. And they would have been right there to take Him off the cross. He chose to die. He made a thoughtful, considerate, long-planned choice to die on that cross for you and me. Because He loved us. Because He wanted the best for us. Because He wanted His friends back. At the fall, God lost His best friend Adam. And He has spent from then to now doing everything that was needed to be done to win His best friends back. That's us. If you're a Christian, you're God's best friend. Question is, are you treating Him like your best friend? Are you spending time with Him? Well, Pastor, I don't know how do I spend time with God? In your prayer, quiet time, in your Bible time. Here, attendance is service. Attendance tells God you care. You're coming together. Because when you're in here and all the other little Holy Spirits are inside of all the people that are in here, you're spending time with God. You're singing, you're worshiping. You're hearing His Word. That's spending time with God, and that's what He wants from you. He wants your time. Well, you ask a child, what do you want most from your parents? Toys? Trips to Disney World? 90% of the time on all surveys is they want more time with their parents. That's the number one thing that they want. Dad's out killing himself trying to make money to make things better for the family. And all the kids want is a couple more minutes with Dad, minutes with Mom. Okay? Jesus wants more time with you. He loves you. God the Father loves you, and He wants time with you. Give your Father the same time and the same devotion that you've heard over this message about how people who sometimes start out not even knowing each other, but in battle, are willing to give their lives for each other. I want to thank you for joining us here at Frontenac Baptist Church on this Memorial Day weekend. I hope you got a blessing from this service today. Once again, thank you for joining us here at Frontenac Baptist Church in Cocoa.